welcome to the first of, maybe, no, I'm joking. Welcome to the first of BK Royston Writers Retreat. I'm so excited that you're here. Yay! Come on, make some noise. And I'm just so excited for what I see, the potential that's in the room. Some of you have written books already, yes. Some of you are in the middle of writing books, yes. Some of you may have not started on, you just have some ideas rolling around in your head. Well, we're going to try to put it all together, match some of the pieces, fill in some of the blanks, and all that good stuff throughout the day. So I'm excited. So we're about to get started. Let's jump right on in. First off, whether you know it or not, you have moved, shifted officially from being just a writer to an author. Yeah. That's what I need you to do. I need your mindset to totally change. And it's all about your mind. Being able to shift your mind from I write. Because you know, you have children who scribble and say, I'm writing, right? But when you move from just being a writer, and there are people in the world who will write forever and never publish or never make public what they write. Okay? They always like it. They just do it because it's activity that they enjoy. It's very therapeutic. My first book was like that. It was very therapeutic for me. But when you move from just being a writer, and I say that very lightly, because just being a writer is not a menial task. It is a great task. And you can put words together that formulate a message. It's incredible. And a message that's important to others. And a message that can possibly change somebody's life. That's not small, that's huge. But when you move from that vehicle of writing, and I'm writing, to moving to a published author, whether that's in paperback, hardback, or just in e-format, electronic format, or digital format, it is transformational for you and for someone else. I am CEO, I'm Julia Royston, CEO of BK Royston Publishing. As some of my authors know, it is a mindset change. You are now not only moved from writer to author, but you're not just an author, but you're a business person as well, okay? So therefore, you're now have to change your mindset to more of you're a business. And we're going to talk about branding later, but you're a business, you're a brand. You're making a statement. You have something to say. And let's just be honest, God gave you a message. God gave you a gift. He anointed you to say something. He's called you to say something. For you to be here and drove to where you drove and got up early and came to this writer's retreat, that means I'm committed to it. On some level, I'm committed to it. And a beautiful Saturday morning like it is today, you're committed to it. Okay? So it's like, what are you thinking about? Changing your mindset. And some of it, you know, I can't say, oh, you already know. No, that's why you're here, to know what you're thinking about and what you should be thinking about. You should be thinking about the message. You should be thinking about what's motivating you. Okay? You're serious? Okay, we know you're serious. You get the registration fee, you got in your car, you got dressed, you came here. So we know you're serious. But how serious are you to not just getting the book published, because that can happen, but getting the message to the next level? Is it going to be something on the side that you kind of do? Everybody's got to work a job, yes. But are you just going to do select events? Or are you going to be whole hog into it everywhere you go? And it's left up to you, okay? But the serious level is left up to you, okay? There's going to be a metamorphosis that takes place. It may not happen just today, but the beginnings of it is going to happen today. To transform you, to change you from just, I liken it to, I want to strike a match. You got dry paper, you got dry wood, and I want to strike a match and get a bonfire to you, okay? And enlarge your territory and expand your knowledge, okay? So we want to transform continually, not just the external transformation of metamorphosis, but we're going to transform the inside, the way you think. Okay? Then another piece about the messenger, which is you. You have a message. You have a call. There's a message that's down in you. I just want to write. There's a message that goes along with it. And you need to be as strategic as possible. There's got to be a methodology. How am I going to get it out? Now, we probably won't get into as much marketing and promotions that can happen, because believe you me, marketing and promotions can be a retreat all into itself. But you still have to start thinking, the message I have that's down in me, there's a methodology that's got to be taken to get that message out. And the first strategic method is you being able to convey that message, being able to be a part of that message. Because the message is inside of you, being able to convey that clearly, succinctly, and so that people get it. As the scripture says, and I'll refer to that, write the vision and make it plain, so that read it can run. Okay, so it's so clear that somebody else will take off on it. And your idea will ignite someone else. Your message will ignite someone else. It can be not only transformational for you, but it can transform someone else. That's how clear. But it's got to be clear in you first. Got to be clear. Okay, what's the message I'm trying to get across? All right. Now I want to make it as clear as possible, because it's like fire. It's burning in me, so I got to get the message out. Okay? All right. Now, we talked a little bit about the messenger. And the message. Content. It doesn't matter whether it's a book, an article, email, blog, as a message, to get it out. Okay? No matter the content or the format. The content needs to be high quality. It needs to be understandable. And it needs to have clarity, such that even a small child can understand it. When I first started teaching, I knew a lot about my content, but getting it clarified to my words were too large. Or, the average person who's reading today, like the newspapers and things of that nature, they're between a 3rd and a 5th grade level. Okay? So you have to think about your audience and who you're directing your message to. It needs to be able to be clear that even if you are talking to adults, they're adults on different vocabulary levels. So, and especially if you're writing to children, they definitely have to be using vocabulary that's on their level that they can understand. Okay? So clarity, it has to be clear. Not clear as mud, exactly. Clear as clear water. So that people can understand it and get the message that you're trying to get across. Now, that's where a great editor comes into play. Because you may know the message, but you may not know the exact words to get it there. An editor. Conveyance, I spoke a little bit earlier about you being the messenger, and you are the message. Being able to say, this is the message, and being able to deliver that. And we're going to talk just a little bit about that. And I want us to do an exercise even before about being able to come up with your message statement. The manuscript. So who are you talking? Who are you talking? Who's your target audience? Is it men? Is it single women? Is it married women? Is it married people? Does it go across all ages? Is it specifically children? Is it young people? Who is your target audience? What you write, could my 103-year-old grandmother read it and not blush? Or would it be inappropriate for a small child to read? Where are you? Okay, what level are you on? Okay? And that, of course, is a marketing tool as well. when you're thinking about who your target audience is, because if you're targeting children, you want to be in children's events and targeting adults who buy for children and things of that nature, schools and Christian education departments and things of that nature, who attract children or children's ministries or whatever. But if it's adults, you want to have, it's very simple. It's the same tool, but you have to be thinking about that when you're transforming yourself and transforming your message itself, and then this is going to transform into the manuscript, what it looks like, what it reads like, what it sounds like. It's all a part of the transformation and the metamorphosis process. Well written. Doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be well written. Some people cannot write like they talk. Some people, especially, and I find that more when I read books by preachers, they write exactly like they talk. When you hear him preach, if you ever read a Bishop Jakes book, it's like he is there preaching to you. His books read just like, and some of them have been transposed from his messages specifically, and just typed and edited, and just, it's a book. It's now a book. And it didn't take that long because his editors took care of that. Some people can't get away with that. He has a unique gift to be able to do that. Joyce Meyer has a unique gift to do that, to be able to do that. There are, you know, people have, Joel Osteen and all, they have a unique gift to be able to write exactly the way they talk. It's like you're in their church, you're watching them preach. But everybody doesn't have that necessary gift. Okay? Me, I need an editor. I write where you can understand it, but I know what I was trying to say in my mind and in my mouth if I'm talking to you. But writing it down on paper, you're not going to necessarily have the benefit of you being there. That's the reason why the message has to be so clear when you're writing it, because they're not going to have necessarily the benefit of you being there every time. Now, if you're doing a book, a workbook, and an instructor's piece where you have CDs and DVDs, sure, they can pop your DVD in, go. Okay, and they do have the benefit of you there as interpretation. But your first book in the beginning stages, like I said, it needs to be as clear as a small child should read it, be able to read it and understand it. Okay? It needs to be that clear because they won't necessarily have the benefit of you. What I need to say is, and what I wanted to say right there, the message, they don't have that benefit. Okay? So clarity and being able to convey that easily. Okay? Before I get into, and I'm still talking about the manuscript itself, editing is important, and being able to have a great editor, not just a friend of yours, you know, yes, you should have friends of yours read your manuscripts and read your materials so they can get kind of a reaction. But if they're not qualified to edit, they shouldn't edit. You need a professional editor. But it also, you need to think about making your manuscript, especially if it's going to be in hardback format, appealing, visually appealing. It's clear, you understand what the message is, okay? The language is correct for the audience that you're targeting, but it also needs to be visually appealing. Does it need a graphic there? Does it need something else? It needs to be visually laid out correctly. Poetry is one area that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but poetry is one of those formats and layouts that's really critical for that. It needs to be visually appealing, and I know some poets that are in the room. So you need to think about that as well, where you break up the phrases, where you're rhyming, where you're stopping, and all that, to make it visually appealing. Okay, so you are the messenger. You've got a clear message, and then you need a clear manuscript. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? I find that, just kind of as a sidebar to this, you moving from writer to author, from author to a messenger, but you're also moving as a messenger to a business person. You're handling, you said, I don't work in a business, I don't have an LLC yet, but it can turn into that. It can transform into that.